Hey there, crypto family. Welcome back to the XRP Insider channel. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here with me today. No matter where you are in this amazing world of ours, I hope you're having an incredible day. Today, we're diving deep into something that's got me really excited: XRP adoption. And trust me, what I'm about to share with you is going to blow your mind. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know I'm completely obsessed with tracking crypto adoption. I've been watching this space like a hawk for the past couple of years, and let me tell you, the pace of change is absolutely incredible. Here's what's happening right now. According to the National Cryptocurrency Association, we're seeing something unprecedented. State-level support is literally turbocharging business growth across every industry you can imagine. Fintech companies are partnering with government agencies, restaurants are jumping on board, retailers are going all in, and even real estate companies are using crypto for payments. But here's the kicker. This isn't some slow, gradual process anymore. This is happening way faster than anyone predicted. And you know what this means? Every single business that starts accepting crypto is giving it more legitimacy. It's like a snowball effect. Suddenly, people start thinking, wait a minute, this crypto thing actually has real value. Get ready for this statistic because it's going to knock your socks off. Over 75% of global businesses are planning to accept crypto by 2026. That's not years away. That's practically tomorrow in business terms. The adoption we're seeing right now, it's not slowing down. In fact, it's speeding up. As more institutions jump on the crypto train, they're bringing it straight to everyday people like you and me. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for us XRP holders. Could XRP become the go-to crypto for payments? We're already seeing talks with massive retailers. I'm talking Chipotle, Starbucks, Shake Shack. These enterprise merchants have been ready since 2018, people. Mass adoption isn't some distant dream. It's knocking on our door right now.
Then you have the payment structure. Then you have the XRP crowd, which also, first of all, just the size of that audience in general. I'm looking at it when we see a potential here for a major retailer like a Chipotle, a Starbucks, anyone really. I mean, Shake Shack kind of went out on the limb with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I tested it at a Shake Shack, didn't work well. Or not Shake Shack, Steak and Shake, didn't work well. We're going to get them on the show to talk about it because the process was kind of clunky. So I asked them straight up, was this just a PR stunt, you know? And
Interesting. Yeah.
And my point is this, is if I can't solve my problem of payment with crypto, do you feel like retailers are going to try to start targeting ways to get to a certain audience just because it's a large audience that would bring them into the stores?
I think it's a great question. I think they will start to target more. Now, remember though, retailers have been in the dark for the last 8 years. They really have been waiting for some regulation. So we've worked closely with some of our retailers, some of our merchants we've been talking to since 2018. And I'm talking about enterprise grade merchants. And that's instructive. Again, much like we pick point of sale in brick and mortar stores, much like we stayed in the US, it's very similar to that. Working with merchants in their compliance departments, we want to talk to those enterprise-sized merchants. Of all the enterprise merchants today that accept digital assets, they're all doing it through Flexa because we've stuck with, well, except for one notable exception, which is Tesla. But so we're talking about a couple dozen enterprise-grade merchants who have done it through Flexa. And the reason is we've walked them step by step by step along this regulatory pathway to a point where they now have some confidence thanks to Genius, and specifically thanks to the promise of clarity coming. So they'll know the assets, for example, being spent on their network aren't securities, or they'll know which ones aren't securities. So they can have that confidence. They also have that authority now, or trust, from the legislation that's coming. And that's why merchants are getting on board today. So I do believe you're right. I do believe they will start targeting the sector more. And I know for a fact this technology is here to stay for them. They've been working on it for years. They're ready for it. They want to build it. They know what the future holds. The future holds digital asset payments. They know. And I think this is to a merchant, whether they want to say it publicly or not. Credit cards and debit cards have a lifespan, and that lifespan is coming to a point where it's ending. Maybe not immediately, maybe not tomorrow, but it is coming.
Did you catch what Paul Barron just said there? He tried making a Bitcoin payment, and it was clunky and frustrating. Now, think about this. When Starbucks and all these other major brands are ready to roll out crypto payments, do you think they want something that's going to jam up their drive-thru? Absolutely not. But Imagine this. You're at Starbucks and you can pay with XRP in the exact same time it takes to swipe your credit card. Same speed, same convenience, except now you're using the future of money. That's what's going to drive mass adoption. And here's something that's been flying under the radar. A lot of these big players have been ready to go since 2018. So what's been holding them back? One word: regulations. But guess what? We're right on the verge of getting those regulations sorted out.
Savvy demographic, right? But I think, non-financial, but at the same time, what I think tokenization is eventually going to lead to is almost the financialization of everything. Mm-hmm. So, we have a wine fund, like tokenized wine. We have MinaSwap, which is tokenizing like classic sneakers. We've done a bunch of things. TYB, Try Your Best, that was launched by Ty Haney, is doing rewards and loyalty with like Glossier and Sephora and all these lifestyle brands. I mentioned South Korea's nationwide loyalty service. UPTN is on chain with us. The California DMV recently tokenized 42 million car titles on their own private blockchain on Avalanche. So we'll see where that grows. If there's multi-state adoption, maybe we don't have to wait in line at the DMV anymore to do fun things. So you start to see all these things, but all these, what's exciting to me is something that hasn't been built yet. And I don't know what it is, and I don't think any of us do yet. Because everything that's been tokenized is something that exists under the sun already. What I'm really excited for, I would love to support, is the builders that are going to use this technology to build new use cases, new asset classes, new things that could be tokenized that previously weren't before. So like your attention, your time, remedies on Avalanche, they have your private health records with your private identification. They hash it on chain. So maybe you being able to give your data, your health data, anonymously to a developer to build an application, people can start to take control of their value, right? In gaming, that's where it's happening. So there's a lot happening, but I think there's so much more that can happen that really we haven't touched the surface on yet.
I think that we used to talk about it in the Web3 world. And the Web2 world was like an API to you. It'd be a really cool thing where you can like tokenize all your, then here's my API and I'll give you certain things.
I'll tokenize myself, tokenize my attention, right? Like you could start to
tokenize John. Get a piece of John.
I'll take a piece of that. I'll take a piece of that. No, but you're bringing liquidity to things that aren't liquid. You're letting people that couldn't participate before participate because they're in smaller sizes.
Danelle Dixon just hit the nail on the head. She's talking about crypto adoption through tokenization, and she said something absolutely crucial. It needs to work so seamlessly that it's as if it's not even there. But here's what really got my attention. She mentioned that regular people, everyday individuals, are going to start tokenizing their assets. And when that happens, hold on to your hats, because it's going to be massive. Once tokenization really takes off, it's going to happen faster than you can blink. Everyone thinks this stuff is still years away, but they're wrong. People want instant gratification, and when they see their neighbors tokenizing assets and making money, they're going to want in too. It's a network effect that's going to explode.
Look at the amount of money that BlackRock's putting into cryptocurrency, right? Look at the amount of money, all of them. If you went back 12 months, not a single one of them was talking about treasuring any Bitcoin assets, any kind of crypto assets. Now all of a sudden Schwab's doing it and Fidelity's doing it.
But is there room for everybody? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, listen, I think the people who embrace it the quickest are going to win the race. And I think those that don't embrace it, you know what they're going to do? They're going to die a very slow and painful death. And you're already seeing that. Look at the success of Coinbase. I mean, look at their stock relative to everybody else, right? I mean, crypto is leading the way. It's what people want. It's an incredible generational play, but it also solves all the problems of modern day finance, which is the fact that it's lethargic, it's slow, it's costly. It's costly as hell. You know this better than anybody. I mean, it's inefficient. Look at your FX rates every single day, right? That all gets eliminated. And it's also really punitive because there's people at the other side, who will make the decision as to, Joe, you're not getting banked. You know why? Because you're a conservative. And so we're going to take away your bank accounts. We're going to destroy your business. We're going to take away your...
This is just a hypothetical thing you're saying here.
It's not a hypothetical thing.
No, I mean about me being a conservative.
Well, it's very hypothetical, Joe. It's very
hypothetical.
Very hypothetical.
Exactly.
Eric Trump just dropped some serious wisdom right there. He said the people who embrace crypto the fastest are going to win the race. And you know what the flip side of that is? If you don't embrace crypto quickly enough, You're going to watch everyone else race past you while you're stuck in the dust. I genuinely believe that people who don't invest in crypto over the next few years are going to have some major regrets. Anyone who can't see the value in crypto right now, they're going to be kicking themselves later. Think about it. Most of us got into crypto because we were willing to take risks. We saw something that most people couldn't even imagine, and we believed in it when everyone else thought we were crazy. Back in the early days, could you have ever pictured what's happening in 2025? Probably not. But here we are, and the future is unfolding faster than anyone expected. The adoption wave is here. The regulations are coming, and XRP is positioned perfectly for what's next. This is our moment, crypto family. Don't let it pass you by. We used to think we were looking out to 2030, maybe even 2040 for this kind of adoption. But everything has fast-tracked since then. And you know why we're winning? Because we were the risk takers who got here first. Even if you're buying crypto today, you're still beating the institutions to the punch. That's exactly why you need to hold on for dear life. Because you're going to win this race. You got in before everyone else. Even before the people buying tomorrow, next week, next month. But here's the reality check. Eventually, people will be too late to crypto. Now, I've got to call out some hypocrisy I've been seeing. Remember when Caitlin Long tried to paint Ripple as doing something shady by lobbying in DC? Well, where's that same energy now? Because guess what? History is being written on Capitol Hill right now. This week brought Michael Saylor and top industry CEOs to Washington for Bitcoin Advocacy Day. Their mission? Advance the Bitcoin Act and make the US the global Bitcoin leader. But here's what they don't want you to realize. There's no real race for Bitcoin. China doesn't care about Bitcoin. Russia doesn't care about Bitcoin. The only people who care are the bag holders, desperately trying to pump their investment. There's no global race to own the most Bitcoin. But just wait until QNT breaks out. There are only a little over 14 million QNT tokens. That's way less than Bitcoin's supply. And when QNT explodes, nobody will even remember Bitcoin existed. QNT is going to absolutely demolish Bitcoin's prices. I'm talking 7-digit asset territory here. It's Bitcoin, but with actual utility. And mark my words, XRP is going to take that #1 spot away from Bitcoin too. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Johnny Deaton must be frustrated because he hit the nail on the head with this reality check. He said, maybe it's just me, but in a world where the United States is $37 trillion in debt, with interest payments exceeding defense spending, adding more than $1 trillion in interest every single year? Think about this for a second. The US dollar lost 10% of its purchasing power in a single year. Credit card debt is at $1.2 trillion, with delinquencies at 2008 to 2009 levels. Student loan debt, $1.7 trillion, with delinquencies and late payments at all-time highs.
Corporate bankruptcies are near record levels. So Johnny asks the million-dollar question. How is $200 trillion of debt on top of Bitcoin a good thing? Michael Saylor keeps saying if Bitcoin goes to $100 trillion or $200 trillion, there could be $200 trillion of credit on top of it. Notice how they always want to pile more and more debt onto Bitcoin? They're planning to tie all US debt to Bitcoin through Tether, and trust me, this is not going to end well. You can already see the setup before the inevitable fall. And here's where it gets really ridiculous. Trump's kids are claiming you can transfer $500 million worth of Bitcoin with no fees.
Bank that I banked with for 25 years, it took me 120 days to go through and know your customer, right? And you're sitting there saying, why? Why is it every week as a hospitality company, right? I'm trying to get a wire out or I'm waiting to receive a wire through the SWIFT system where if I don't get it out by 5 o'clock, and by the way, even if you get it out at 5 o'clock, zero chance it's making there before Monday. You know, when you can transfer $500 million worth of Bitcoin from an iPhone to an iPhone, having a wallet address, at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, for no fees, for practically no fees. And that scares the big financial institution.
King Balik called them out perfectly. No fees, huh? See how they lie when they're desperate for that last gasp? But maybe Eric Trump is actually sending his Bitcoin over the XRP ledger, because you absolutely can send Bitcoin very fast and very cheap using the XRP ledger. Chris Larsen proved that years ago. Speaking of real progress, here's some massive news that's flying under the radar. Wrath of Common reported that a new Xrpl partner just announced the rollout of real-time cross-border payments into Saudi Arabia. This happened right after BARK partnered with Thunes to enhance remittances. Xrpl is also partnered with SABB and has piloted programs with SAMA in the region. Of course, immediately, people started saying Thunes and Xrpl aren't partners. But guess what? The headline reads, Thunes and Xrpl expand global partnership to transform cross-border payments. More and more payment rails are getting built out all around the world. A lot of this news goes unnoticed because there's always other drama happening. But Xrpl keeps growing and expanding, either directly or through strategic partners. And here's another one. UAE bank Zand and CoinMina have partnered to offer CoinMina's clients across the region fiat to crypto integration. The infrastructure is being built piece by piece, and XRP is right at the center of it all. Both are Xrpl partners. Zand is a Xrpl payments user exploring an AED stablecoin, and CoinMina is an RLUSD launch partner that also lists XRP. It's rail after rail after rail being built out. Just imagine when XRP is running on a daily basis across all of these payment rails. We're talking about a complete transformation of how money moves around the world. Now, I know a lot of you ask me about earning yield on your XRP, and I've got some crucial advice from Digital Asset Investor that you absolutely need to hear. Before you try to earn yield on your XRP, or borrow against it, make sure you know exactly how the yield is being generated, and exactly what your borrowing risks are. This industry is still young, and we don't have regulations yet. I've seen this movie before many times. Not financial advice, but know your risk and know what you hold. XRP being kept safe is my #1 priority until we have regulations. He's absolutely right. And he shows the Celsius business model as a perfect example. Celsius was an absolute disaster, just like FTX. So when you're thinking about earning yield on your XRP, and people are promising you 20% yield, 12% yield, or even 8% yield, that's a huge red flag. You are putting your precious XRP at serious risk. Here's the reality. When you see offers for maybe 3% to 5% yield, that doesn't come with nearly as much risk. But here's what happens. These companies come out promising 12% to 15% yield every single month. And behind the scenes, they're doing incredibly risky things with your XRP. But here's what I'm really excited about. I cannot wait until we get no risk yield. This is going to happen with institutional adoption, and it's going to be an absolute game changer for XRP holders. We're talking about legitimate, regulated ways to earn from your holdings without the crazy risks. And you know what else is going to be a game changer? AI agents. They're going to revolutionize how we earn from our crypto. That's coming with time too. And honestly, I think that time is in the very near future. But until all of this amazing stuff happens, here's what I need you to do. Stay patient and stay positive. The future we've been waiting for is closer than ever. The rails are being built, the partnerships are expanding, and XRP is positioning itself to be the backbone of the new financial system. Thank you so much for watching today. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you amazing people in this community. You're the reason I do this, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep holding strong, crypto family.